Do you want to bring in Jennifer Coffindaffer, law and justice contributor for NewsNation, former FBI special agent, for her perspective. Jennifer, good to see you. Thanks for joining us on this case.
Good to see you, Natasha.
So this new federal investigation is actually focused on corruption in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. It is not directly tied with Ellen Greenberg's case at all. How likely do you think it is that more will come out about her death while investigators are looking into other crimes?
Well, the federal authorities do not have any jurisdiction over her death per se. But if there was anything that was done in terms of corruption, collusion, any agreements that were made to cover up what really happened to Ellen Greenberg on behalf of law enforcement, that's where the FBI comes in. How likely is it that they will find more information? I think it's likely.
And when you look at the details of Ellen's case, do you agree with her family that this does not look like a suicide?
I do agree. Look, 23 stab wounds. And by the way, one of those was ruled lethal. Later, they came back and said, well, that could have been caused by the ME. Well, listen, that came in later. And remember, initially, the ME said this was a homicide. Then they switched to suicide, and now they've gone back to undetermined. So there was something that went on in this that just doesn't sit right.
You know more about the medical examiners and that whole process than I do. The moment that someone is stabbed in the back, how can that be ruled a suicide? Can you explain the rationale there?
Well, typically, an ME investigation is far more complex than just the physicality. They do have to do an examination of all the documents and information that's available. And initially, again, it was ruled a homicide. But after meetings with law enforcement, that was all changed to suicide. Then later, with a lot of pressure, years later, they changed it back to undetermined. So it's very interesting how they did that and why they did that. And that's why the FBI is involved.
What role does Ellen's fiance play in this new investigation?
Well, the question is, if Ellen didn't kill herself, who did? Well, who found her was her fiance. Again, no charges levied. He's never been charged or prosecuted for anything. But he is the one that certainly the spotlight is on that could have possibly had the means and opportunity to commit this crime.
Okay, with the time we have, I do want to get your take on another headline we're tracking. Convicted killer Bryan Kohberger's sister finally speaking out this month. What do we need to know about this?
Well, it's interesting. She's really downplaying any sort of issues that she felt her brother may have had. And this is such a tricky situation, right, Natasha? This is your brother, and you don't want to say anything negative about him. Yet, information does exist that actually he had been violent, and very negative information existed that went on with the family. So, what really was the truth? Was she sugarcoating it?
Yeah, and this is Mel Kohberger saying that her family had no clue that Bryan was the killer. She even recalls reaching out to him to tell him to be careful after learning about the killings because she knew he was outside at the time. What is standing out to you the most about any details she's providing now?
I think what's standing out is sort of the juxtaposition of what we heard during the investigation. And that was issues that existed in the family, issues with him, his heroin addiction, even some violence that existed. And now we're hearing, yeah, no idea. Listen, I think it's probably sugarcoating a situation within the family that's so difficult for them.
And Mel Kohberger saying that she had to leave her job in the wake of the killings after an influx of communication and inquiries to her employer. Any response to that?
I just think it's wrong to blame the family for anything an individual did, like the sister, for instance. But nevertheless, I wish she would be more forthcoming because I'm not sure she is.
Jennifer Coffindaffer, appreciate the analysis and the time as always. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.